Character with Olusola-Obasa. How are you all doing? Who's joining already? I welcome you to this very exciting edition today, and it promises to be very useful. Very useful. Very useful. Very useful. Welcome. All right. Alright, so welcome to Mind Your Character with Olusola-Obasa, reaching you live from Lagos. That's my base at the moment. How are you doing? How's the week been for you? How is family? The nation where you are, I hope that you're at peace and enjoying life to its fullest. Alright, so welcome to the show. We are going to go right ahead into what I've got. I'm hoping that a number of persons will be able to join live and that a number of other people will be able to catch up with this later. I'm going to turn down the volume here. All right, so that we can go on. It promises to be a very beautiful show today. And I'm welcoming everyone who's joining. You're welcome, Madam Faith. I can see you. Thank you. I hope Nigeria is treating you well and you're treating Nigeria well. All right, welcome. Now let's hit what I've got today. I started a series and I'm so sorry. Last week I could not keep a date with this, and that's because I had multiple family assignments, and I was hoping that usually when I have a very tight Friday, I would just believe that somehow I will wriggle myself in and I'll still have the show. But at the last minute I found out I couldn't do that. I've actually missed 2 sessions since this series started. I'm going to make up for them. So today I want to push in as much as I can. So whoever is not joining me yet, I'm hoping that they will catch up and then they'll also be able to see this on YouTube. Usually we have a recorded version for YouTube which you can always reach afterwards in case you want to share, just in case, because you know the one on Facebook, the live on Facebook gets deleted 30 days after. That's the standard procedure, so to speak, right now. So but long after that, you can still, they are always on our YouTube Mind Your Character YouTube channel. All right, so I've been talking about habits, and I've shared a number of very useful things about habits already. I've talked about the fact that habits are actually not a bad word. Like, the word habit is not a bad word. It only depends on the context with which it is operating per time. So you can have good habits, you can have bad habits. So that's me doing a little tie back to what we've done so far. Since I wasn't here last Friday, so you can have good set of habits, you can have bad set of habits. I also made us see that habits can be developed knowingly or unknowingly. Habits can be developed knowingly or unknowingly. I said that and helped us see that the best way to now begin to master your habits is to intentionally grow, build the ones that will benefit you. So you have the responsibility of intentionally growing, building habits that complement your goals in life. And that led me to another point that I mentioned. I did say that habits are a powerful force. That's me re-echoing the words of Stephen Covey, saying that habits are actually a very powerful force. They make things happen. But the part of the force that I want you to know is habits are meant to support and sponsor your goals. Because habits follow a pattern, they are recurrent, they can stick. You know, another truth about habits is that one thing they know how to do very well is to stick. So habits stick. So, and because they can stick on a pattern by pattern basis, it then becomes important for you to be able to do an audit of your personal habits and see whether they support your goals in life or whether they are against it. So they can either support your goals if they are good habits, good set of habits, or they can strangulate your goals if they are bad set of habits. Once something becomes habit, you do not need to remind yourself to do it. It just happens. One of those editions, I was asking if any of us, found ourselves eating, cooking, or doing any of those regular, or even having a bath. And the truth is that majority people have formed habits around those things, and they do not need anybody to jerk them or wake them up to do it. That's the sense in which habits, that's how they roll. And we've also talked about some critical things about when a habit is bad. We help ourselves see that they cannot unmake themselves. They don't have the capacity to change themselves. And then I've been playing around the word old habits and old age. Old habits and old age. I've also been playing around the words change and age. So the fact that you are aging does not mean your habits will change. Your habits can only change when you intentionally work on it. So it takes deliberate and intentional growth to replace bad habits with good ones. It takes intentional growth to replace bad habits with good ones. So we established that fact that there is no way your habits will change themselves except you do something about them. That there is no way your habits will change by their own selves except you work at changing them. So we established all of those. Beautiful. Today, my interest in helping you see those habits that will not change no matter how old you become. But guess what can happen to them? The last session I took, I was almost saying the last class I took. The last session I took, I was helping us see how that habits don't retire because you are getting older. They refire. And I was helping us see that they can cage you if you don't change them. You can get used to patterns such as good or bad that you cannot even tell when you've done certain things because they are being sponsored by a particular set of habits. So habits are sponsors of our lives. Habits are support pillars of our lives when they are positive. Whose responsibility is it to make the habit of an adult positive? It is totally up to that adult. No teacher, no Sunday school teacher, no school teacher, no tutor, no mentor, nobody can be held responsible for the habit of any adult. They have to take responsibility for it, whether for forming it or for growing it or for changing it if they have not been wholesome, good habits. Right now, let's go into what we have for today in particular. And what we have for today in particular is trying to see habits that won't change no matter how old you're getting. Habits that won't change no matter how old you're getting. It's amusing. Here is a list of personal habits that typically do not change just because someone gets older. The following are a list of personal habits that do not change typically just because you're getting older. Number one, I put down here as number one, your attitude towards learning. Your attitude towards learning is one habit that will not change just because you're getting older. It will change only because you decided to change. You grew new sets of habits to support the new way you want to live. Number one habit that won't change just because a person is getting older is attitude to learning. Attitude to learning. Look around you. You will see individual adults that are so neck deep into certain ways of doing things, but they cannot be taught. They cannot be advised. They cannot be instructed. They've gone so deep into not learning new things or learning at all more than what they've always known because it has become habit to them. That is, such people maintain a closed mind instead of an open mind. Closed mind instead of an open mind. These people resist learning when they are young and often remain closed-minded even much more later on. You don't know everything. Age doesn't automatically create curiosity. And you know, curiosity is the fuel for learning. When you get to that point, when it feels like you already have learned everything that you need to learn, that is a bad and toxic habit right there. The habit of your attitude towards learning. Here are a few things I'd like to tell you, just so you know that you are endangering your progress and growth as a person, and you're going to shut people out of your life ultimately if you continue with this habit. You need to understand that you do not know everything. There is no such human that knows everything, that already knows everything. There isn't such human anywhere in the world. Number two thing I'd like to remind you of, to help you see why you must work on this habit, is the fact that learning can happen anywhere and through anyone. A child that you gave birth to can teach you. I have seen parents who feel insulted when their children are teaching them things they thought they were the ones that first started teaching them. Isn't that interesting? A great leader will actually be excited that their child now knows more and can teach them. I understand that as adults or as parents, you can feel that, particularly if the child is doing it in an insulting way, it can make you feel like, why that? And you can want to rebuff. But see, learning can happen anywhere. It can happen through anyone. Even the child that you gave birth to can become the one teaching you. So it's important to know that learning can happen through anyone and by any means. It means that you must keep an open mind wheresoever you go. Even I have heard Dr. David Oyedepo often say that he went to a country, he's in a vehicle, and there's a lorry in front of him, and he saw no food for lazy man. I think there's a particular word like that he used to talk about. And then from there, it dawned on him that if you would eat, that was complimenting the Bible. I think he said he saw it before he saw it in the Bible. I can't remember. But he said that's talk to him. How much of openness you have towards learning. If you check yourself and any of the scenarios I've painted or more that you know is true to who you are, it's time to change that habit. Otherwise, it will stop you. You do not have a monopoly of knowledge in any area of life. You do not have a monopoly of learning, of knowledge, in any area of life. Not even when you have done 25 years. The last time I was doing a series on balance, and one day I came live and said, never say I've seen it all. You can't say you have seen it all. How much have you seen? Even if you have stayed 100 years in life, The world is older than you. You are not done catching up with everything that happened before you showed up. Talk less of what happened while you were here, or even what will happen when you are gone. So openness of mind is the positive habit that you need to embrace. Number 2 habit that will never change no matter how old you are getting, except you take a practical step. That is number 2, response to feedback. Response to feedback. Wow. This is one area where a lot of people have been flawed over and over and over again. The shame of somebody telling you particularly when it's a critical feedback, like when the person is critiquing you. If they are critiquing you, it's even still okay. If they are critical of you, if they are critical of you or of your views, I understand that people should learn how to use criticism more developmentally and productively and progressively. But you see, if you're going to become that person who will take feedback in a way that feedback can be one of the major blessings of your life, you must work on that poor habit of low, cold response to feedback. The moment people are not saying what you wish they said, the moment they are not saying it the way you want them to say it, you go cold on them. Your emotions and your mood become dampened. You just feel like, oh, this person just touched my ego. It is an ego thing and you need to deal with it. Ego is only as good as when it is positive. When your ego intercepts your capacity to receive feedback well, you are in trouble. And guess what? There is nothing you can do about feedbacks, particularly today. Feedbacks will come whether you ask for them or not. Guess what? I have even taken people who listen to me, I've taken it a notch higher for them to say, don't wait for feedback, ask for feedback. That means you have grown beyond not sure whether you want to receive feedback, to even knowing that there is always feedback. So what do? Ask your team members for feedback as a leader or team lead. Ask your children for feedback as a parent. Ask your sibling for feedback as an elder sibling or younger sibling. Ask your community for feedback on the project you are doing for them. Ask your clients for feedback on the way you're serving them. That puts you a notch ahead of others. So you can leave that category of people who are still they are feeling ruffled when a feedback is given that does not sit in well. Again, I do not advise people to be rough with feedbacks when they are giving them. But you see, you can only handle what you can handle. So handle life from you. You can't handle everybody else. You can only handle yourself. So position your mind to be someone who takes feedback. Some feedback can be off and totally hurtful. I understand. But I'm saying that generally speaking, be open and have a healthy response to feedback. A lot of the times, feedbacks have become what champions needed to make the extra move that brought them where they got. So don't throw it away. Don't be defensive. Be open. It is a long-standing pattern that you have to keep. So if you've been defensive, it's a habit that you have to work on. You are always building a shield. You're always resistant. You see, I understand there are times you need to play those games, but it can't be you on a consistent or long-term basis. You should know moments when you should open up and allow people to tell you how well or how badly you're doing. It could be your lifesaver one of these days. So those who reject correction rarely grows. They rarely grow because they don't accept correction. So I'm talking about feedback in the light of becoming better and growing stronger. Number 3, habits that will never change. You see, all of these habits that I'm saying, look at old people that you know. You will see many of them still have it. That's because they have done nothing to change it. And you see, the older you become, the more people leave you with your habits. You hear people say, that's that, you leave him. Oh. There's nobody that can say, ah, that's mommy, oh, that's auntie. You know, there are some aunties that are dreaded by their younger siblings, younger cousins, and the rest. They are so dreaded around things that should not be an issue because they grew up like that. They refuse to change. Their attitude and habits towards it are poor, and today they have become what we call bonga fish, like dried fish. If you try to break it, if you try to bend it, it cannot bend, it breaks. That is how habits are. Number 3, your number 3 habits that will not change no matter how older you are getting is discipline level. Your level of discipline will not change today, tomorrow, and forever, except to change your understanding about the importance and power of being disciplined, and you commit yourself to it. Discipline is not a gift given to some people and not given to others. You grow it. So when you have a poor habit towards discipline, it begins from basic things that have to do with you as a person. Then it moves to people you care about. Then it moves to the uttermost part of the earth. Your discipline level is the number 3rd habit that could not change ever, except you did something to it, no matter how old. I bet you, if you turn 100 years and you don't work on your discipline level, you'll be the same person in terms of discipline at age 100 that you are when you were 50, when you were 40. So this is a very important thing, and growth-minded people who are listening or watching or following this series should pay attention to it. Under discipline, I'll let you to know that consistency, for instance, and time management and self-control are major discipline areas that you need to practice. They are not age-driven. They are not age-driven outcomes. Self-control will not change. See, this thing is very, very, sensitive. Have you not heard in the news, 71-year-old man sleeping with a baby? Who does that, right? But that person has lived with that habit of indiscipline around sexual issues till they clock 70. Go online and search Google. If you think I am saying this and it's sounding like, too much of extras, you will find stories of real life stories of elderly persons who are going down to, who are getting down with very, very young people. They have lived with it as poor habits. They never worked on it. Age will not change it. It can only get worse the older they get. Another area is time management. There are women whose husband will usually wait for when they are going out, from when they got married to them, till now that they are already in their 70s and in their 80s, the man is still waiting for them. See, I understand that we need time to get ready as women, but let me share my own story. When we got married, I found out that my husband was, and he still is, somebody that is still hazy around time. And then before you know, I don't like when people don't take time seriously. And I didn't like the way it made him feel and the way I feel when he's talking all those things. I'm like, so I started working on it. So much that I told myself, even if it means that I will not do everything that I need to do in the house, I'll go and complete the rest. I just wanted to show that I'm changing. It will not change itself. Your discipline level will not change yesterday, today, and forever, except you do something. And I mentioned 3 areas that you should look out for. How do you manage time? Discipline around time. It can remain like that forever. Some people, when they are bathing, so when some people go to the toilet, the way they've been going to the toilet since childhood, they will stay long inside. Some people, when they are eating, they will stay long. Different things. And then the other one is, how consistent are you? The discipline that you need to be consistent. You start things and you stop them. You do not continue whatever you start. That is inconsistency. But the baby that is like the power that is powering inconsistency is called lack of discipline. And then the other part is self-control. Self-control is not a gift, it's something you need to work on. So self-control, all of these things were mentioned under your discipline level as examples of areas where you need to work on it. And if you don't work on it, they are going to remain the same. Guess what the next one is? Number 4. Shout out to everyone who is watching. I can see a very, very old friend of mine from Punch watching. Thank you everyone. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. So number 4 is integrity and honesty. Integrity and honesty is another habit that will not change no matter how old you are getting. I pray that all of us will live long, but imagine living long with a poor habit that sticks to you like clothing, like your skin, so much that many of us who are here have older persons in our lives, that there are areas of their life that are not good habits. I'm sorry, I've been mentioning poor habits because they help me explain the good one. And if there are these areas where you're already doing well, kudos to you. For those who aren't, I just need them to know that these areas will not change, except you do something. And so I started the list today. If I'm able to take it to number 5, I have 18 lists here. 18. If I can take it to 5 today, then I will continue next week. So the 4th one is integrity and honesty. Integrity and honesty, that's number 4, which are all babies of truthfulness and trustworthiness. They are all character habits. They are healthy, they are good. Growing older doesn't suddenly make you faithful, ethical. No. If anything, people will not even know that that kind of behavior is with you. That kind of habit is with you, because they will assume that as an elderly person you should not cheat. There are people in our political climate today, political corridors today, that are very, very elderly. It seems like the elderly they get, the more elderly they get, the finer they perfect the way to be unfaithful, untruthful, and lacking in integrity. And of course, honesty. Age will not change it. I need that to sink. The major thing I'm playing on is the word change and age. Habits do not necessarily change because you are aging. Instead of them to change, they may cage you. And then they will become deliverance issue, that you are going for deliverance. That, oh, deliver me. I still pickpocket at this age. I still do this at this age. And many of these things, the older you get, the more you don't want to talk about it publicly. Because you cannot imagine people knowing that about you. But you see, this is your life. No matter how old you are and you're coming across this video, I want you to know that it's never too late to learn. Number 5, which I think is sensitive to us as a people, particularly in Nigeria. I can talk about Nigeria. I might not be able to talk about the whole of Africa or even the world. But I know that number 5 is sensitive to us. Your habit towards work ethic is number 5 that I want to mention today. Your habit towards work ethic. How are you when it comes to work? There's a very beautiful quote that I love. I can't remember the author again now. He said, when it comes to work, some people turn up their sleeves, some people turn up their noses, some people don't turn up at all. Some people turn up their noses, some people turn up their sleeves, some people don't turn up at all. Which category are you? Work ethic is number 5 habit. There are habits that support or strangulate work ethic. If you are lazy, laziness is a habit that will destroy your work ethic. If you're diligent, diligence is a habit that will power and support and sponsor your work ethic. But you see, years on earth do not replace the effort you make around this. No wonder people stay 30 years doing a job as public service people, come out of that job after what they call meritorious service, and they cannot consult for anybody around what they have done for 30 years. Wow! Meaning that they had a very poor attitude towards work, sponsored by poor habits like truancy, lateness, lack of attention, laziness, and all of those things put together. 30 years after, someone cannot write a book on what they have done for 30 years. I did only 14 years in Punch. When I came out and I was going to clock 40 because I left Punch at 39, check that autobiography of mine. The majority of what you see there, apart from stories of how I grew, are stories about schools I went and how my job went. How can you not bring a product out of what you've done for 30 years? It calls to question how good your habits around work were. And it's not just enough to be at work. People go to work who do not necessarily work. At the end of the day, work is meant to enhance your worth. So when your work is not showing the quality of the person you are becoming, wake up! You are beginning to lose it to poor habits. It's time to change. And that will be all that I probably can take today. Anytime I'm live like this, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. Feel free to ask. It's not just a talk. And then tomorrow I'll be so excited to have you. I am hosting an accountability team. So you can call it a mentoring team if you like. But it's totally free for those who attend on our meeting days. Tomorrow is Character Ambassadors Forum meeting. And at the Character Ambassadors Forum tomorrow, we are bringing a support conversation around when the useful staff feels used. People in that category get into that mode one time and again. And we want to help them so they don't take a wrong decision as a result of it. If you are interested or you know a friend who is a value-driven human who would like to be in a meeting like that, I know there's environmental sanitation in Lagos tomorrow. It ends at 8:30. We start the forum at 11. So you must have been done with your sanitation. You must have done other things you want to do at home. If it's not too much, please join me at our office 153 Akomojo Road. 153 Akomojo Road, the building where you have Crave City. Crave City. I'll do well to leave the address in the comments once I'm done, or if a colleague of mine is still with me live, they will leave it there. I will be so excited. See, if you've ever wished I could mentor you, if you've ever wished I could do anything free for you that has to do with your job, your business, if you've ever had questions in which you could ask me one-on-one, that's the best place to find me without paying a dime. Just 2 hours and we're done. I do a pep talk, then we open up the conversation. So it's a talk show type of meeting. We discuss, you share your views, and then when we're done, we bring ourselves to the knowledge of what the action points will be. And of course, we recently added praying about the things we're hearing so that we are in grace also spiritually. That's because I believe that there's a part of character development that requires enablement, empowerment. All right. So 11 a.m., 153 Akomojo Road, Egbeda. We are on Akomojo Road. You can't miss it. To help you, the landmark is the building where you have Crave City. Crave City, I call it restaurant now. And then I'll be so excited. We don't come late. We don't do African time. It's one of the things you know our members from. Character ambassadors do not arrive late for meetings. If you cannot join, what do you call it? If you cannot come on site and you'd like to join online, feel free to just say, I'll join online. And once we get your contact, we'll share the link with you so that you can join us. You are not going to regret investing those times. It's one of my CSRs and the way I seek to be a blessing to the world on a continuous basis, and it's totally free. So thank you so much for being part of Mind Your Character today. I will be so excited to see someone I'm seeing online in the room tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, and have a blessed weekend. Bye now.